Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I got another how-to video for you guys today. I'm going to show you how to make a real simple bear head. But before we get into it, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the little bell so you get all the notifications. And with that being said, let's jump on into it. Make sure you wear these. Alright, for the first cut, what we're going to be doing is basically going to be the back of the head and the back of the ears. We're just going to be coming in at an angle right here and just cutting right here on the back. We're just going to remove this little plug right here, and like I said, it's basically going to be the back of the head and the back of the ears. So let me go ahead and make that cut so you know what I'm talking about. Alright, now what we're going to do, now we got pretty much the back of the ears. That's kind of the back of the head, back of the ears. We're going to come right here, and we're going to hold the saw to this, and we're just going to bring it down, and we're just going to bring it around, and we're going to go in there. We're going to go about down to here, and we're going to stop. And what that's going to do is that's going to kind of be going into his back, and when we make the upcut, that's going to be kind of like the top of his butt. So we're going to make this cut in here, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to make an upcut. So I'm going to go ahead and make that cut, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, raise this up a little bit. I don't whack that jaw horse. I think I mentioned before, if you don't have a jaw horse, just throw a couple screws in the side, set it on a log, fasten it down, and it'll hold it perfect for you. Alright, I'm going to make this little upcut, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll have the back of the head, and we'll be going down the back, and that'll be the top of the butt. Alright, now we got that. I'm going to turn it around. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, this is it's a little bit rounded, but we want it a little more rounded. So I'm just going to kind of shape around on this, and then you got a hard line here, and you got a hard line here. And if you watch my other videos, you know we don't like those hard lines. So we're just going to come in, we're going to follow that down and around and get rid of that. We're going to come over here, we're going to follow that down and around and get rid of that. So I'm going to go ahead and make those two cuts, and we'll move on. I'm just going to kind of drag up here, and that's just going to get rid of this little bit of raggedy. Alright. Lock down. Now we're going to have a cut here, and that's going to pretty much be the ear. So we're going to cut down about this far, and then we're going to cut in, and we're going to remove this whole chunk, and that's going to be, we're going to be left back here with this, and that's going to be where our ears are, and then we're going to move on to the forehead. So let me go ahead and take this plug out, then we'll move on to the forehead. So there's your ears. Make sure that's straight. Alright. see how it's kind of going up a little bit? I'm just going to take my saw and go across here and just level that out a little bit. That's a little better. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in about twice as much of the ears. We're going to come in about that much. And then we're going to make a cut here. And we're going to go down about that far. That's going to be the forehead. And then this front part is going to end up being the nose. So I'm going to cut this little part in here and remove this little plug. And you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll have the ears, then we'll have the forehead, and then this front part is going to be the nose. So I'm going to cut this in and you'll see what I'm talking about. Those are some pretty big ears, so I'm going to take just a little bit off them. Maybe about a ½ inch, just to make them a little shorter. So I'm going to do that real quick before we move on, and then we're going to work on this nose here. Alright. So what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be blocking the nose in. So we're going to take a little plug out here. We're going to take a little plug out here. So I'm just going to cut down here, and then I'm going to walk around, and I'm going to cut here, and that's going to remove the plug here, and that's going to remove that plug there, and we're going to be left with the nose in the middle. So let me go ahead and make these cuts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, so now we got the ears, we got the forehead, and we got the nose. Now what we're going to do is, we're just going to go in about that far, and we're going to remove a triangle here, and we're going to remove a triangle here. And that's going to start giving us our little bit of a face shape. And then once we do that, we're going to start working the ears in, and then we'll go down from there. So let me take this plug out here, and this plug out here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we'll move on. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to cut in right here, and we're going to stop at the head, and then we're going to do this upcut, and we're going to remove this little triangle here. We're going to remove this little triangle here, and that's going to be left with the bottom of the ears. And then we're going to remove this plug in the middle, and that's going to give us an ear here and an ear here. So let me go ahead and take these two triangles out, and once I get that, we'll move on to taking this little plug out of the middle. So let me make these two cuts here, and we'll move on. Alright, now we got those two cuts. We're just going to take a little plug out of the middle, and I'm going to stand back here and do it so you can see. But all I'm going to be doing is removing a plug about that wide, and we'll be left with the ear here and the ear here. So let me go ahead and remove that. We'll move on. And this little triangle point, all I do to get rid of that is I start at the back, just move your blade back and forth, and just take it to the front, and it'll remove all that raggedy out of the middle. So let me go ahead and do that. You'll see what I'm talking about. we pretty much got the ears. And we'll come back to the ears once we get the nose and everything moved in. We'll define the ears, and we'll start putting fur on. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the nose. We're gonna be cutting in here, about that far down. Stop at the head, and then we're gonna cut up, and we're gonna remove that plug. That's gonna leave us. That's gonna expose the nose, and pretty much start making the chest and all that. So I'm gonna cut in about right there, and I'm gonna cut up. So I'm gonna go ahead and make those 2 cuts, and we'll move on. Alright, now you're left with your nose, got the forehead, got the ears. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our saw and we're gonna round this point off, and we're gonna take it down, and we're gonna remove some of this hard line right here, and we're gonna round that on down. So it's gonna take this little point off right here, and then it'll take this little point off here, and you'll have a little bit more of a kind of rounded nose. We're gonna round this top part, round that down, and remove these 2 triangles and soften that up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one side so you'll see what I'm talking about, and then I'll go ahead and knock that other side out. Now I'll try my best to stand here out of the way of the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to do, but I'll do my best. Now I'm just going to kind of take it right here. I'm just going to kind of follow the shape of this nose around, and just clean all that up. I'm going to go ahead and do that. You'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, that's pretty much our nose. It's going down at a little bit of an angle, and it's a little crooked, so I'm just going to fix that. I'm just going to come in and knock that little part right there off and straighten the bottom of that nose off. There we go. Now we're going to pretty much separate the head from down here. So we're going to come in here, and we're just going to make a cut here and a cut here, and we're going to follow that around. So it's going to start here. We'll cut in, then we're going to cut up, and then we're going to move to here. We're going to cut in and cut up, and then we're going to move to here, and we're going to cut in and cut up. And that's going to separate all that right there, and that's going to basically separate the head from the body. So let's go ahead and make these 3 cuts on this side, and then I'll show you on this side. Now you see where this comes to a point, and this comes to a point. We don't want that, so we're going to just smooth that out, soften that up. We're going to smooth that out, soften that up. So all we're going to be doing is just kind of start here and just kind of move back and forth, up and down. Just get rid of that hard line there. Get rid of that hard line there. That's just going to smooth the side of the head out and just kind of make it flow into the body a little better. So let me go ahead and do that. We'll move on. And I like to just kind of plunge cut when I come in the back and just move forward, and it just takes it all out in one swipe. But if you don't want to do that, you can just kind of take a little bit at a time. too bad. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put our nose in, and for that we're just going to start here and just really easily with the, just don't put it in very far, just barely put it in there at an angle and just go around like that, and then we're going to take it in the top and we're going to go in about maybe 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to stop, and that's just going to make a little ridge right here to kind of separate the nose, and then we're just going to bring it around here, bring it up here. Super simple. I'm going to show you how to do that. We'll move on. I'll try my best to stay out of the way of the camera. I'll try to maybe do it like that. So let me try that, and we'll move on. Nose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little kind of frowny face right here, and we're going to just bring it in here, go up like that. We're just going to bring it around the side, do a straight line on the side. So we're going to do a little curve here, down here, and we're going to bring it back to the face. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And we're going to bring it around on the other side too. Alright, now we got our nose and we got our mouth. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our saw and just kind of move it down right there. We're just going to knock all these fuzzies off, and right there we're going to knock that off and make it even with this. So it's a straight line there, and all that fuzzy stuff's gone. We're going to do the same thing here. Just knock that right off. Just kind of bring it around. So let me do that and see what I'm talking about. Just like that. And then we're going to do this right here. We're just going to kind of walk around. We're just going to get rid of these fuzzies and then just kind of neaten that up a little bit. Alright, we got that done. We're going to move to the back and we're going to get these ears worked in. Now what I like to do is I like to start right here and go in there and then just kind of follow it around and then just make this cut down. So you're basically just going to be coming in at a little bit of an angle, just cutting that point off, and then just kind of drag your saw around just like that, and then when you get here, cut that in, cut this point off, and just bring it right into there. And then you'll be left with the top, and then we'll be able to cut our ear shape in. So let me knock that off, drag around, knock that off, and then we'll shape this here. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing over here, and we're going to make them round. Just like that. And now all we're going to be doing is just knock all these points off and just round your ears off. Round that off, and then round that off. So just going to cut that off, and that off. That's going to give you a round ear, right? Just like that. So let me do this one, then I'll do the other one, then we'll spin him around, and we'll keep on going. See, that's pretty much an ear shape. Let me do this one, then we'll move on to the next step. show you here. Where these are real thick, what we're gonna be doing on the right here is we're just gonna be starting about here, and we're just gonna thin those ears down a little bit. Just kind of cut, basically gonna be cutting this hard line right here off. And you're just gonna kind of round that up so where it don't look so thick and blocky. We're just gonna kind of taper that down a little bit so it's just a nicer looking ear. Let me go ahead and do that on both sides, and we'll move on. And you'll see what I'm talking about once I do it. Glasses are fogging up. I'm gonna show you the difference before I do move on. See what I did there? You're just kind of tapering that up. See how blocky that is, and then how nice and tapered that is. So we're gonna do this here, and then we're gonna move on. Like a couple ears to me. Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna hollow some of this out and just get rid of this. And that's real simple. All you do is just kind of lay your saw right there and just kind of pull up. Just keep doing it until you remove enough to where you're satisfied. So let me do this here, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Then I'll move to this here. So you just remove, about as deep as your finger. Just kind of pull it up, and you can take care of the rest with the sander. But it just makes your ears look a lot nicer. So let me do this one, then we'll move on. That's pretty good. And it don't have to be perfect. Like I said, we can do a little more with the sander. All right, now I'm gonna just do a line straight down right here. Then we're gonna cut in, and then cut in. We're gonna remove that little plug. And you don't have to go real deep. You can just go, about like that. And that's kind of a preference thing. You can go as deep as you want. You can go all the way down if you want. I don't like to. I like to go about half the distance. We're just gonna create a little V, and we'll round all that off too. So it's not, hard lines. But right now, we're just gonna put a little V right there. Let me go ahead and do that. You'll see what I'm talking about. All you want. Just a little V like that. Then we're gonna round that. We'll round that. But now what we're gonna do. That's probably about right. Good enough. All right, we're gonna basically make a little platform. So we're gonna start right here. We're just gonna kind of go at just a slight angle. We're gonna bring it around to the front, and then we're gonna bring this around, and we're gonna meet it. And that's just gonna pretty much just give us a little separation, separate our bear head from the base. So we're just gonna start right here, go at a slight angle, round to the front, about right here. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to meet it up. So let me go ahead and do that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Just like that. Now you got two options. You can either cut up if you want, or you can cut down. I like to cut down. So I'm gonna just kind of cut down and just give a little separation here. Knock that hard line off and taper that down in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's done. Turn him on around again. Make sure that's a good view because I got him lifted up a little more. That's pretty good. All right, now we got this hard line here. So all we're gonna do is be removing that. Just gonna come in like this, bring that down, do the same thing on the other side. So we're just removing some of this meat right here. We're gonna kind of smooth it out and you know, just knock those hard lines off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You'll see what I'm talking about. Our bear head's pretty much done, except for the fur. But what I'm gonna do right here is I'm just gonna take my saw and see where all that's real raggedy. I'm just gonna lay it flat, just go all the way around and just knock all this raggedy stuff out of here. All nice and clean. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw the fur on. That's pretty much the last step. The way I like to start on the fur is I like to start the center of the back of the head and just work around, and don't go further than here. Just start at the back of the head, bring it around to here, and then do the same thing on this side, and then we'll work the bottom in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And if you watch the gnome video, the redbird video, you know, the same way you put the beard hair in, same way you put the redbird feathers in, that's the same way we're gonna do this bear fur right here. Just kind of up and down with the saw, up and down with the saw, up and down with the saw. Come up there, I'll hatch all that in, and just kind of go with the flow of the head. So if you're going this way, just kind of pull it on around, and we're gonna start at the middle and pull it around here. We'll go ahead and do that, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, instead of starting from the middle of the back, we're going to start right here, right at this point where my hand is, and we're going to follow this around. We're going to work this in all the way around. When we get to the center of the chest, we're just going to start kind of draw it down. We're going to stop here, then we're going to go around the other side. So let me go ahead and do that this side, and you'll see what I'm talking about. gonna pull this side around, meet it in the middle. I'm just gonna bring it in just a little bit into here, just kind of blend that in a little bit, and we'll do the same here. Turn him around. Finish this out. We're gonna put fur on the back of the ears, sand him up, throw some eyes in, and we'll have a bear. Pretty much your bear. And you know, just always keep in mind, don't go straight down. Always kind of follow the shape of whatever you're doing. So if you're doing a bear, follow the shape of the bear. You want it to flow. You don't want it to just be straight up and down lines. You want it to flow around, flow around, flow around, flow around. So you know, you always want to be kind of dragging around so you got that nice flow with your fur. Alright, now we're just going to sand him up real quick. Throw the eyes in. I'll show you guys the finished product. I'm not going to be able to talk because the generator will be on, but just kind of watch me. You'll see what I'm doing. Well, here's our finished up little bear head. Sorry my battery died while I was sanding, but you didn't miss much. It was just a little bit. But that's pretty much it. And you can finish it up however you want. I normally burn mine and then clear coat them, but you can spray paint them, do them however you want to do them. They sell pretty good. I sell a bunch of these things at shows and festivals and stuff, they normally bring anywhere from $30, $35, $40, $45, depending where you're at. So go practice, have some fun, make some bear heads, maybe make a little extra cash. And I'll have some more cool stuff up soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the little bell for notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.